Right. Let's talk about commodities. Peter McGuire is now with us. Peter, what do you make of the sell-off in commodity markets? I mean, it's an interesting time when we consider dollar index is now stable at 106. We're approaching the winter where actually consumption should go up, but that's also not happening. What is the commodity decline pricing in? And China is also reopened, which means the demand should go up.
Well, exactly right, and good afternoon, Pankaj. I mean, there's a lot of series of questions there, and maybe it was overbought, and it gets to that inflection point. We're at 96, 97 for Brent. We're running close to around about 89, 90 for WTI, and they've both given up significant gains. $90 for Brent, 82 for WTI. Seems to be slipping well back. As you mentioned, that US dollar's come under some serious firepower to the downside, really, crushed. So I think that there's just been other markets to trade, and those have been sold off, maybe margin calls with crypto, and it's just been a time of consolidation for some of those commodities.
In terms of industrial metals, a lot of industrial metals also fell, except natural gas. I think everything was lower. What does that indicate usually?
Well, I mean, when you're thinking about it, we were very strongly bid down for copper too, and at nearly 2.2% down. Tin was crushed, nearly 4.5% down in the session. So they were significant falls, and I think it gets to a point in time that, if you've seen commodities crushed, being energy, which is WTI and Brent predominantly, those oil complexes, and then some of those base metals, they seem to be working in tandem, and it was just a little bit of bad news creates more turbulence and sell-offs, and I think that was really the main factor at play.
Peter, last time when you were on the show, we discussed the Cricket World Cup. Are you flying down to Qatar?
Well, I'd like to fly out to Qatar. I wouldn't mind seeing the soccer. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of the cricket. I'd like to see a lot of different sports. But at the moment, I'm stuck in Sydney. We're coming into summer and things are looking pretty good. And I think the markets are dynamic for trade. So I've got to be close to the screens, Pankaj, because you've seen those big moves, and it's nearly as exciting as India versus England.
I think it's India versus New Zealand. So that's there in a while now. So I think that's what you want. Yeah, India versus New Zealand, that's going to start. Anyways, thanks so much for that. We'll talk more going ahead.